بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وعلى أزواجه وذرياته وأهل بيته وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير يا فتاح وبك نستعين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر. So inshallah, by the grace of Allah, we will start this class in learning the fundamentals of classical Arabic, and this is the book that we will inshallah start, Fundamentals of Classical Arabic in volume 1, and inshallah may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach us and increase us in beneficial knowledge. May Allah grant us sincerity and protect us from shaitan and nafs and all types of fitnas. And may Allah grant us the noor of ilm and the noor of knowledge. And may Allah give us the true and right understanding of His kalam, the Quran, and the ahadith of His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, the sayings of his beloved Prophet. And inshallah, after completing this class and this book, inshallah this class will be about 4 months long. We're hoping it might take a little longer, but we'll try to have it done, this book, in 4 months. And inshallah, after this book, we will inshallah have a better understanding of Arabic and a better understanding of the Quran and the meanings of the Quran and ahadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This class is not about learning how to converse in Arabic, inshallah. It's not just about how to speak in Arabic. We will learn many words and many sentences, but this class will teach you the foundation of Arabic, the fundamental rules of the language of Arabic, the fundamental rules of the words of Arabic, the nouns and the verbs and the particles and how they're made, and the rules of grammar and syntax and ilm al-sarf and nahu, as it is called, and inshallah we'll explain what that means. So this class will be very helpful for that person who is serious about learning the foundation of this amazing language and wants to truly benefit from every verse of the Quran. Of course, this cannot be achieved by just studying one book and having a class for 4 months or so, but this can be the first step, and then we can continue, and a person can go step by step and learn more and more and more. Inshallah, this could be like the first step. So this is a class for beginners and taking the first step into the Arabic language and the fundamentals of the classical Arabic. And then inshallah in the future, if Allah permits, by His grace, we can inshallah study more books and take another step further and increase our knowledge and getting more understanding of the Quran and Hadith. It is an ocean, and Allah has given us this opportunity, so we should take advantage and learn and become students of this language in the Quran. And with every class and with every class, we should be getting more understanding of the Quran and the verses of the Quran, and getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that way. Then inshallah there might come one day where we will start to understand what we are actually reciting in the salah and what the imam is reciting in the salah, and we can actually benefit from Ramadan and the Taraweeh salah. Too much time has actually passed, and we are truly missing out, and our children are truly missing out on one of the beauties of this world if we haven't learned the Arabic language, and specifically we haven't learned the Arabic of the Quran. The Arabic of the Quran is one of the miracles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like living in Ontario or New York and never having seen Niagara Falls. That person is missing out. Or living in Saudi Arabia and never having seen the Kaaba. That person is truly, truly missing out. How unfortunate, missing out on such a blessing. So we live in this world, Allah sent us in this world, we're human beings, we're the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah sent us in this world to recognize Him, to understand the guidance that He has given. So if we are living in this world and we haven't gotten in touch with the Quran and we're not understanding it fully yet, then we're missing out. This is one of the amazing miracles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the last speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ultimate guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah give us the opportunity, inshallah, and give us tawfiq to take advantage of these classes. We should all make intention to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are learning and we are teaching just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, all our deeds, especially this one, and all our deeds are only and only for you, to please you, to make you happy, so that we can achieve benefit of this in this life, and we can benefit from what we have done in the coming life. So we should all make a firm intention to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, we should make a firm intention to act upon whatever we learn. So whatever we're going to learn in this class, we should make a firm intention that whatever we're going to learn, we're going to put it into action right away. Immediately, whatever we learn, inshallah. By the grace of Allah and bi'idhnillah, we will put it straight into action. And also we should make another intention that we will learn this, and then we will not just keep it to ourselves, but we will also teach it to others. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." Even if you learn one piece of knowledge, the Prophet said that you should take it to others. Teach it to others. So this is an amazing knowledge. We should teach ourselves, and teach our children, teach our family members, and whoever we can reach to, we can teach. And if I teach you, then I get the reward, and then if you teach others, I get the reward of whoever you're going to teach. So this is sadaqah jariyah. My teachers get the reward of me teaching all of you. So it is, we should all make this intention that we're going to teach it to others. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Khayrukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allama." The best amongst you is the one who learns the Quran and then teaches it to others. So this is the Arabic of the Quran. We will learn it and inshallah make intention of teaching it to others. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu had once said that kun aliman aw muta'alliman aw mustami'an wa la takun ar-rabi' wa la takun ar-rabi'. Either become a knowledgeable person, an alim, be one of three and don't be a fourth. Number one, either become a scholar, become an alim, become a knowledgeable person, or become a student, muta'allim. We should always take advantage of wherever the right guidance is being taught. We should always take advantage and we should learn. Right? There's, like I said, an ocean of knowledge and wisdom and guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be learned, and we should always be striving to learn more and more. So either become an alim or a muta'allim, a student, or mustami'an, or a person who comes and listens carefully, sits in the classes and listens and partakes, and do not become a fourth. So we should always be trying to benefit. So inshallah we will start the book. Inshallah, the book is called Fundamentals of Classical Arabic, and we should all order online this book, and we should have it with us. And we should always have a dictionary with us. So inshallah in this class we will the Handswear dictionary is the dictionary that I recommend that all of us should have. And we should have a translation Quran with us also. So I will show it to you inshallah. So this is the Arabic dictionary. It's called the Handswear. We should order this, and inshallah we should have this in our class. And always have a Quran with you. Inshallah we will be turning to the Quran many times and understanding it, looking at the meaning of it. So if it has the meaning in it, it's even better. The translation, whichever translation you feel that you can benefit from, but inshallah this is the English one, so we should have an English translation Quran with us so we can benefit from the words in the Quran directly. Alright, so first of all, what we should know is there are 28 letters in the Arabic language. Alright, so this is in the book, I think it's page 15, but we're just going to start with this. So there are 28 letters in the Arabic language. Some say 29. They make the alif and the hamza different letters, the first one here and the last one. But we will just say 28, and the hamza and alif we will consider as one letter. So the 28 letters are alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kho, dal, dhal, ra, za, sin, shin, sad, dad, ta, dha, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, noon, ha, waw, and ya. Okay? So the way I pronounced it, it is important to learn the pronunciation, the tajweed, where each letter comes out from the tongue. So that's another knowledge also. Inshallah we will explain that a little bit more when the time comes. But right now we need to know that there are 28 letters in the Arabic language. Now, When these letters are joined together, then they make up words. Of course, when you join letters together in any language, they make up words. So let's give an example here. For example, this is a letter. This letter is Sad. This is the 14th letter of the Arabic alphabet. And then you got Alif, the first letter of the Arabic alphabet. And then you got Dal, this is the 8th letter of the Arabic alphabet. And then you got Qaf, this is the 21st letter of the Arabic alphabet. So, 4 letters. Now, when you group these 4 letters together and you put them together, it will look like this. Sad, Alif, Dal, Qaf. So, Sadiq. Alright? Sadiq. So, what does Sadiq mean? It means a truthful person. Another word, Alif, the first letter of the Arabic alphabet, Mim, the 24th letter, and Ya, the last letter, the 28th letter, and Noon, the 25th letter of the Arabic alphabet. Now, if you put these 4 letters together, you will get the word Amin. And Amin basically means trustworthy. Okay? So, when you put these letters together, they make different words. And we gave the example of 2 words. So, a word produced by the tongue in the Arabic language, what is the word called? What is a word called? So the word or articulation in the Arabic language is called lafz. Al-lafzu or lafzun. Okay, lafz. There's 3 letters in it, the lam, the fa, and the dha. Alright, so this is called word. And the plural of word is alfaz, words. Alright, so we are going to learn words. To understand the Arabic language, we're going to learn the words of the Arabic language. So how do you say word in Arabic? Lafz. How do you say words in Arabic? Alfaz. Alright? It means word, but what is the literal meaning? If you look it up in the dictionary, what does love mean? Love basically means to eject or to throw. Alright? To throw something, to eject something. Like, for example, it's written, لَفَظًا نَوَاتَ. لَفَظًا نَوَاتَ. That means he spit out the date pit. Nawat means date pit, the little seed in the date. And lafadha, he spit out. So he spit out the date pit. So lafadha, the literal meaning means to take out, okay? To eject, to throw. So in speaking, basically what we're doing is we're throwing out sounds from our tongue. We're making sounds and basically throwing out sounds. It's very simple meaning. We're throwing out sounds. So the Arabic grammarians use this term, al-lafz, it becomes a term to refer to articulations, speaking, expressing. So this is what al-lafz is. To be able to speak and articulate, make words and sentences is a huge blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can do much good with this tongue and with these words. We can recite the Quran. We can remember Allah by praising Allah. We can make dua. We can beseech Allah. We can plead and beg and supplicate to Allah. So this tongue can be used in many good things. We can be saying good things about somebody. We can be giving advice to our son, our daughter, and so this tongue is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah mentions it. Did we not give you this tongue? And this tongue is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But at the same time, you can do much harm with this tongue too. So we have to be careful. We have to use it only on good. Alright? Because you're throwing sounds and throwing words. Sometimes a person can be throwing beneficial words, and sometimes a person can be throwing harmful words. So, at the same time, we can do much harm with the tongue. So we have to be very careful, and we have to use the tongue in only for good. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhiri falyakul khayran aw liyasmut." Whoever believes in Allah and the Day of Judgment, then he should only say what is good, otherwise keep his silence. So, keeping silence actually becomes an ibadah, it becomes a worship. You know, that's something important to understand, that a person doesn't always have to speak. But when he does speak, try to take out the best words. When you're using this tongue and you're making these words, make them the best. And it's also said, "Man kathura kalamuhu kathura akhta'uhu wa qalla haya'uhu." Whoever kalam becomes a lot. Whoever starts speaking a lot. Whoever starts to talk a lot. Man kathura kalamuhu. His kalam is kathir. Then kathura akhta'uhu. Then his mistakes will also be kathir. They will be a lot. He will make mistakes. وَقَلَّ حَيَاؤُهُ, and his haya, his decency, will become less and less. He will become less and less shameful. He will lose his shame. When a person keeps talking and talking and talking and talking, then he gets more brave in what he's going to say, and more brave, and then he will start saying things that he should not say when he loses the haya. And then he might start using words which are obscene and explicit. So, what does this say? Whoever talks a lot, then his mistakes become a lot, and his haya becomes less. So, love means to throw out sounds which make words, but sometimes, unfortunately, people throw daggers with the tongue. They hurt other people's hearts. So we have to be very careful. There's a poem that my teacher used to say, and I memorized it when I heard it. جراحات السنان لها التيام ولا يلتام ما جرح اللسان. جراحات السنان لها التيام ولا يلتام ما جرح اللسان. That the wounds caused by sinan, spears, laha iltiyam, they will one day heal. So a wound caused by a spear, it will one day heal. وَلَا يَلْتَامُ مَا جَرَحَ اللِّسَانِ, but whatever wounds are created with the tongue, they don't heal. So the tongue is very dangerous if it's used in a harmful way, if it's used in a wrong way. So you have to be very careful in what you say. But it can be a blessing, because with it we can recite the Quran. With it we can give da'wah. With it we can make dhikrullah. With it we can make dua. Some of the best words that a person can say is praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's all with the tongue. So Allah wants us to be careful of what we say. The word love itself comes once in the Quran. Once in the Quran it comes, the word love. The word love is in which surah? A surah that the Prophet ﷺ used to love. An amazing surah of the Quran, and every surah of the Quran is amazing. It is surah number 50, Suratul Qaf, and it's in the 18th ayah. Surah Qaf is an amazing surah. The Prophet ﷺ would often recite it in Salatul Jumu'ah. And where is this? ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. Not a word. ما يلفظ من قول. Not a word does he utter. يلفظ, to utter, to speak. إلا, but لديه, there is a رقيب, a watcher. Atid, ready to write. Subhanallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses this word, loved, in the Quran. And basically, Allah is telling us to be careful of what we say, because there is a angel writing, ready. Okay? Raqib, he's watching you and he's ready. And Atid, he's ready to write, ready to record. So, something that is very important to understand when we are speaking. Anyway, so back to the subject. So, love means word in Arabic, and then love or alfaz, words are of two kinds in Arabic. And in this book that we're reading on page 11, we have this diagram, and if we look at that diagram, it becomes easy to understand. So love are, alfaz are of two kinds. Words are of two kinds. Mawdu' and muhmal. Mawdu' means meaningful, and muhmal means meaningless. So the word mawdu' is from the word wada', which means to put something, or to establish something, or to devise something. So it is a word which it's established, it has a meaning. Muhmal means something which is neglect, ha, mim, and lam. It's from the word that means neglected or omitted. So it has no meaning to it. We're not going to mention the meaningless words. Like, for example, if somebody said 100 years ago that, can you Google this to me? Google it, So you won't understand what Google means 100 years ago. So this is a word which is muhmal. It is meaningless in that time. Today, of course, there is a meaning for it. Or if you said Pepsi about 500 years ago, nobody will be able to understand you. Or podcast. So these are words, in that time, they had no meaning. So there are words which have no meaning. But we're going to mention those words that do have meaning. So mawdu', a word which is meaningful. So an example of a meaningful word, shajarun means tree, jabalun means mountain, hajarun, rock or stone. So these are all examples of meaningful words. Words which are established for some meaning. Then meaningful words, they are of two kinds. So you look at the diagram again, and you will see that meaningful words are of two kinds. Alright, mufrad and murakkab. Mufrad means one, a single word, okay? It is an articulation which is composed of just one word, alright? Like nahr, nahrun, river, shamsun, one word, it means sun, kitabun, one word, it means book, okay? So single words, they have one meaning. And if it is composed of more than one word, murakkab, then it is called compound or murakkab. Okay? For example, Rasulullah. Alright, let me write that on the board so it makes more sense. Alright, so we're done with this. Alright, so what was I saying? Okay, so murakkab. Example of murakkab. So for example, ra, sin, waw, lam, and then another word with it, Allah. Alright? So Rasulullah. So this is one word, this is another word. Rasul means messenger, Allah means Allah, so the messenger of Allah. Alright? So this is a compound word. Alright? It's made up of two words, it's murakkab. Okay? Another example is Baytullah. Bayt, ba, ya, and ta. Alright, Baytullah. So Bayt means house, Allah means Allah, so the house of Allah. Let me give one more example. Hizbush Shaitan. It's mentioned in the Quran. Hizbush Shaitan. So Shaitan means Shaitan, the devil, Satan, and his means the party. So the party of Shaitan, those who follow Shaitan, those who listen to Shaitan. Alright? Hizb Shaitan. So two words, murakkab. So compound. Okay? So we in this book are only going to deal with single words. Okay? One word. A word which is meaningful. As far as murakkab and sentences are concerned, inshallah we will hopefully deal with that in the next class, the next book that we study, which has to do with the knowledge of nahu, the knowledge of sentences. This class has to do with sarf, which has to do with the word, the beginning of the word, the middle of the word, the ending of words, and how they're made, and how they change, and how they are derived, and how they make more and more meanings, different meanings. As far as sentences are concerned, when words are put together to make sentences and make different meanings, that is inshallah in our next book that we will do, inshallah. Alright, so mufrad. Alright, so a single word is called a mufrad, a meaningful word. Another name for a meaningful word in Arabic is al-kalima. Alright, so al-kalima. Al-kalimatu. Alright? So, from the word kalam, we get this word al-kalimatu, which means, what does it mean? It means a meaningful word in Arabic. Alright? Al-kalimatu lafdhun wudi'a li ma'nan mufradin. Kalima is a word devised and established to give a single meaning. Alright? This is what kalima means. For example, Zaydun Zayd is a noun, and it means it's the name of a certain person. Alright, so it's giving a single meaning. Akala. Akala. Akala means, it's from the word akal, to eat. So akala, that one man ate. So it is also a kalima. It is a word that gives a meaning. So this is the example of a noun. This is the example of a fi'l or verb. And then the example of a particle, fi. Alright? Fi basically means in. So these are the three types of words in the Arabic language. Either a noun, either a verb or a particle, ism, fi'l or harf. And this is what kalima is. Okay? So kalima is a word devised or established to give a single meaning. ثم الكلمة على ثلاثة أنواع. Then the kalima is of three different kinds. Okay, it's divided into three. Kalima is divided into three: noun, verb, and particle. Ism, fi'l, and harf. Inshallah, we will mention that in the next class. Before we finish this class, inshallah, I just want to mention something about the signs that I wrote on the letters. Okay? So, for example, we have a sign on top of here, there's a sign there, and there's a symbol here, and there's a symbol there, and there's a symbol here, and there. So far we just learned that there are 28 letters of the Arabic alphabet, and then when we join them, it makes words. But of course we have to give those letters some sounds. So how do you make the sounds? How do you join them together, and how do you put these symbols on them to make sounds? Inshallah, we'll mention that a little bit right now. These, okay, let me just put down, these are called al-harakat. Al-harakat. And one of the signs, this sign is called a sukoon. Okay, so I'll just put a sukoon. And inshallah we'll mention what this al-harakatu was sukoon. We'll mention what al-harakat and sukoon means. So before, the Arabs didn't need or have any signs and symbols that I showed you on the letters, because everybody knew Arabic. They knew the words, they knew their sounds, they knew the pronunciation, so they didn't need these signs. So there were no signs, it was just the letters. Okay, so if it was written without the signs, they would know that this is Rasulullah. Alright, they would just see this and they would know that this is Rasulullah. And without the signs and symbols, they would know that was Baytullah. But as people were learning Arabic and learning Quran and embracing Islam and learning Islam, it was very difficult to learn Arabic for beginners with just letters, without knowing the pronunciation, without knowing the sounds they make, and without being able to join them together and making the right word. So later, they decided to add these signs and symbols. These are called diacritical marks, or Arabic diacritics. So what is a diacritical mark? A mark or symbol added to a letter to indicate a special pronunciation. All right, let me say that again. A mark or a symbol added to a letter to indicate a special pronunciation. So without this, we would not know it's he, his, right? Or bu. Without that sign, we would not know it's bu. It could be ba, it could be bi, but we know it's bu because of that sign on top. So we will mention that. So it changes the sound, and sometimes placed over a vowel to indicate a long sound. Alright, so if you want to make a mud sound or long sound, then you have to put it on top of a vowel. We have examples of this in different languages. For example, in other languages, if you just write this word, for example, R-E-S-U-M-E. If you just write this word, it could mean resume, right? It could mean resume. But if you put these marks on them and symbols on them, so in Latin, this is resume. So with these signs, it changed the pronunciation and it became resume, right? In the same manner, if you write P-I-N-A-T-A, it means pinata. But if you, in the Spanish language, if you put this on top, it becomes piñata. So it changes the sound and it gives a different meaning, and it becomes a different word with the sound. So in the same manner, when you put these signs and symbols on Arabic letters, then they indicate a special pronunciation and a special sound, and it changes the sound. Okay? Now, these signs were never used before, and the words were just coming, without these sounds. So they had to come up with symbols, and they had to come up with names of the symbols. Okay? For example, if we have the word mustaqim, okay? It has all the signs on it, so we'll use this word. So the word is Mim, Sin, Ta, Qaf, Ya, and Mim. Alright? Alright, so this is mustaqim. But if you don't have it, you can say mis or musat qaimi. There's many ways of saying this. You don't know that this word is mustaqim. So when you put this is called a dhamma, this is called a sakin, this is called a fatha, this is called a kasra, and another sakin. So this becomes mustaqim. Alright, so this brings the mu sound, and then it's connected to the sin, mus. Then ta has this sign on it, it's a sound. So this is a u sound, this is an a sound, this is an I sound. So qi, mustaqim. So this is how it became mustaqim. So these signs they started to use, and then they had to give names to these signs. So this is called a dhamma, this is called a fatha, and this is called a kasra. So we will inshallah understand how they came up with these names. Why is it called dhamma? Why is it called fatha? Why is it called kasra? These signs and symbols are the fatha, the kasra, and the dhamma. They can also be called short vowels because they give the meaning of A, E, I, O, U. Right? They give the meaning of A. The fatha gives the meaning of A. And the kasra gives the meaning of I. And the dhamma gives the meaning of U. So these are called short vowels. Alright? And then you will learn that the vowels are also alif, ya, and waw and ya. Inshallah, we'll learn that later on. So these three signs the fatha, the dhamma, and the kasra, they're called al-harakat. These three signs, the dhamma, the fatha, and the kasra, they're called al-harakat. Alright? And harakat is the plural of haraka. Haraka. Alright? The singular is haraka and the plural is harakat. So haraka. 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 Harakatun. Alright? Or haraka. So this is this plural and this is the singular. What does it mean? Haraka means a single movement. Haraka means a single movement. Because when pronouncing these vowels, you make movements of your lips. Alright? Your lips are moving, your tongue is moving, the inside of your mouth are moving to make these sounds and words. So the Arabs call this harakat, meaning these signs, because of these signs we started moving our lips. So a simple way of saying it is harakat. Alright, so that's where we get this word. And harakatun is one movement. Alright? Harakat, lots of movements. Haraka. So if I ask, what is the haraka on the ba? So what is the haraka? It is the fatha. What are the harakat on the word mustaqim? So you're going to say dhamma, sakin, fatha, kasra, sakin. So this is what haraka means. Okay? Then there's another word that it will come up. It's called tashkil. Let me make this a little smaller. Tashkil. Alright? So tashkil is from the word shekel, to give something a shekel, or to give something a form. So, when the word does not have any harakat on it, like this word, so we're going to say, make the tashkil, or put the shekel on it, put the form on it. So it means to put the different signs on it. Okay? So this is another word. Tashkil is the act of placing these symbols on the letters. Alright? Tashkil is the act of placing these symbols on the letters. Alright, moving on. So when we take the word mustaqim, on the meme, the first letter, there's a dhamma. Alright? So a dhamma literally means, what does dhamm mean in Arabic? It means to join together. Alright? Dhamm means to join together, to put something together. So when you were saying the U sound or the mustaqim sound, you will see that you had to join your lips together. Mu or mus, your lips join together. And anytime you use the dhamma, you're making the U sound, so your lips are joining together. So because literally it means to join, you're joining your lips together, so they call this sign a dhamma. So one time of joining one time, okay? This ta at the end, dhamm means to join, and ta is for marra, meaning it comes at the end of a word, it's for marra, it's for a single time something happened. Ta lil marra. So you are joining your lips together once when you say mus. So that's why it's called a dhamma. So the Arabic grammarians wanted to name it so it indicates the movement sound you make when pronouncing it. So they said that this sound is produced when one joins his lips together, puckering the lips together in a circle to make the oo sound. So the word expressing that is dhamm, joining together, and a single joining is dhamma. Alright? So let me just explain what, I'm going to write dhamma on the board. Alright. erase all of this. So here's the word dhamma. So first the word dham, dad and mim. Alright, so this means to join, and this ta at the end, dhamma, dhammatun, okay? So this ta, it comes in many words to say one of something. So dhamma, one time, or a single joining, right? Whenever we say mus, so we're joining our lips once, so that's a dhamma. Whenever this ta comes at the end of something, it's something single, something happening once. For example, let's say the word luqma. Alright? So, luqma means one single morsel of food. Alright? Jalsa. Jalsa. One sitting. Alright? Jals, sit, to sit, and then jalsatun, one sitting. Alright? Another example, sajda. So one is sujood, to prostrate, and if you prostrate one time, it's called a sajda. So this ta lil marra, it comes to show that something happened once. Okay? Sajdatun. Another example is mas'alatun. Mas'alatun. Mas'ala means question. Mas'alatun, one question. So now we understand the word dhamma and how it came about and how it's making the U sound and why this sign is called a dhamma. The next sign we will mention is the sign, the symbol kasra. Alright? Kasra is the sign right here beneath the qaf. Okay? So this is a kasra. And the kasra, it gives the I sound. Okay? Mustaqi, qi. So it's giving the I sound. When we say E, it is as if we're breaking our mouth and breaking our mouth into a smile, right? So, kasra literally means to break. So your mouth will like this. Now you got a nice break in it when you said the E sound. So kasra means break, and because it was making the E sound, it was putting a break in the mouth, so the Arabs named this sign kasra. Alright? To make the I sound, it is as if your mouth has a little break in it. So the word to express the meaning of breaking is kasra, kasr, and one time breaking is kasratun, or kasra, a single breaking. Okay? So that's how you get this word kasra, and it's coming from the E sound. And then the fatha is the most, which is on the ta here, the fatha. This symbol comes the most. Fatha means opening. Alright? So the sound when pronouncing this letter, musta, ta, it makes an A sound. A, right? Musta, it's an A sound. So this sound is produced when you simply open your mouth vertically. A, or A, it's making that sound by just opening your mouth vertically. So they searched for a word and came out with fatha. Fatha means to open. Fatha or fathatun, a single opening. Because the A noise is produced by a single opening of the mouth. And then the last sign that we see here is sukoon. Okay, I had mentioned al-harakat and as-sukoon. So this is a sukoon, okay? Sometimes it's going to look like that, and sometimes in some Qur'ans you're going to find it as a circle. Okay, but we will always have it looking like that. Okay, so mustaqim. So this this is a sakin or a sukoon, and it basically comes telling you to join it to the previous letter. So mus. Alright? It comes to tell you to join it to the previous letter. Now sukoon linguistically means resting. Alright? That's why a place that you stay, a maskan, is a place where you go and rest, your house. Alright? So sukoon basically means to rest, stay still, not move. Alright? So they call it sukoon because there is no movement of the lips. When you come to this part, when you say mu, your lips are moving. But when you come to this letter, mus, so your lips came into a stop. Okay? They rested. They stopped moving. Alhamdulillah. So you said the but the lam, you're stopping on it. You're resting on it. Then ham, you're resting on the mim. Alright? So there's no movement of the lips, so they call this sign a sukoon. Alright? So these are the three short vowels, the fatha, the kasra, and the dhamma, which are called harakat because the harakat means movements, so because your lips move, and sukoon means a place to take a rest because your lips stop to move. So this is called al-harakat wa sukoon. And when you put these signs and symbols on words, it's called tashkeel. Alright? Then we mentioned earlier in the class, we're mentioning kalimat, and we mentioned that there are three kinds of words in Arabic. Kalima means words, and there are three kinds or three types of words in Arabic. So if you open up the Quran or look in the books of ahadith or even look in the dictionary, you will find that the alfaz or the lafz, the words, they're of three kinds. Any sentence you take. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. This sentence, it only has three types of words in it. It's either going to be a ism, a fi'l, or a harf. A noun, a verb, or a particle. And nothing else more. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is a sentence, it only has three of these. It's either a ism in there, a fi'l in there, or a harf in there, and nothing more. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Another sentence, it's only going to have a noun, a verb, or a particle. So we have to understand these three types of words. Okay? It's like saying that all words belong to three families. So it's either going to be in the noun family, the verb family, or the particle family. Either ism, fi'l, or harf. So whenever you see a sentence, the first thing you should try to understand and see in the sentence are the words, and you will try to distinguish which family does this word belong to. What kind of word is it? So what are the three kinds? Ism, fi'l, and harf. Al-kalimatu ala thalathati anwa' ismun wa fi'lun wa harfun. Kalima is of three kinds: ism, fi'l, and harf. So not going into too much detail, ism means noun, fi'l means verb, and harf is a particle. Particle meaning a part of something, right? A piece of something. It's also called a preposition, like on, or over, or beside, or under, or during. These are all prepositions. Ism, noun, كل لفظ يسمى به إنسان أو حيوان أو جماد أو أي شيء آخر ولا يوجد فيه زمان. So every word, ism, what is a noun? It's every word that is used to name a person or animal or a thing or anything, but it does not have any tense in it. Alright? We will learn later on that tense, if that word has a tense in it, like the past tense, the present tense, or the future tense, then it cannot be a noun, it can only be a verb. Okay? Alright, so ism examples: Allah, Muhammad, Farasun, horse, Jannatun, garden, Narun, fire, Tayrun, bird, Wajhun, face, Shamsun, sun, Laylatun, night, Qiyamatun, Qiyamah, the day of standing, Yawm al-Qiyamah. So Qiyamah means standing. Okay? Ainun, it means spring, and it has many, many other meanings. Eye, Najmun, star, Baladun, city or country, Filun, elephant, Naharun, day, Laylatun, night. So these are all examples of ism. Now, وَالْفِعْلُ كُلُّ لَفْظٍ يَدُلُّ عَلَى حُصُولِ عَمَلٍ فِي زَمَنٍ مُعَيِّنٍ. And fi'l, verb, is every word that shows an action being done in a particular time period. Okay? So, dakhala, he entered. So an action is being done in the past. Kharaja, he left. An action is being done of exiting in the past. Ya'kulu, he is eating. So an action is being done of eating in the present. Yashrabu or sayashrabu, he's going to drink. So an action is being done of drinking in the future. So fi'l is a word that indicates an action in the past, present, or future tense. So if it has a tense, then it has a past tense or present tense or future tense, then you know it's a word. It's a verb. Okay? And then the last thing before we're done, وَالْحَرْفُ كُلُّ لَفْظٍ لَا يَظْهَرُ مَعْنَاهُ كَامِلًا إِلَّا مَعَ غَيْرِهِ. Harf, what is a harf? Harf is also a word. It is also a kalima. But it is a word that is dependent on another word to give its complete meaning. Meaning by itself, a harf, a preposition or a particle, does not give a complete meaning. Alright? Example, if somebody says, أَيْنَ تَذْهَبُ? Where are you going? أَيْنَ تَذْهَبُ? Where are you going? You say, إِلَى, till. So it didn't give any meaning unless you join it with another word, إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ, towards the masjid. Where am I going? Towards the masjid. إِلَى الْبَيْتِ, towards the house. Alright? So it doesn't make sense unless it's joined with another word. So inshallah we will end here today, and inshallah we will start next class with going more into detail of ism, fi'l and harf. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, rabbighfir warham wa anta khairur rahimin.